Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. It happened again, another assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Before we get going into that, I have to pause. I laughed at that segment whenever they said he owned the shooter owned a weapon of mass destruction, a machine gun. I didn't realize that a machine gun was a weapon of mass destruction. I mean,
if
I guess on
that logic, George Bush was completely justified for going into Afghanistan and
oh yeah, I
Iraq or
mean we
whatever.
can go into any country that has machine guns. We can invade all of South America. Holy cow!
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I guess it goes nuclear warheads and a Uzi when it comes to like damage and payloads, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, again, Trump was attempted to be assassinated by this guy. Really weird stuff. A lot of weird connections. But you know what's amazing is there's a connection between this guy and BlackRock, same as the previous shooter. So you know that kid who attempted the assassination attempt last time was involved in a BlackRock commercial. You know,
Yes.
BlackRock being that holdings company that's invested in everything, and they're big pushers of DEI and all this crap. So, uh, and they're investing and they own a lot. So like they're trying to like BlackRock is basically trying to take over properties and create a permanent host of renters. Like they want to own again. This is the group of people that are like you'll own nothing and be happy. So if you're wondering why the price of homes is going up, it's because BlackRock's coming in and buying out houses from underneath people. So again, he was in a commercial for BlackRock, and here it is right here. Follow me. There he is,
There he is, right there.
another BlackRock commercial. Now maybe this is just footage that they've got off the street or something to put this commercial together, but that's an awful strange coincidence. That's like lightning striking a nickel in the woods that you dropped out of your pocket twice. What are the odds that both shooters would have been in a BlackRock commercial? I mean, that seems profound.
Mm-hmm.
So just some weird stuff. And again, they hate Donald Trump so much. The media, this is the media's fault. The media's rhetoric. You've dialed it up to 1,000. Trump's Hitler. Trump's a Nazi. Trump's the devil. You keep saying that enough. You say it. You tell a lie long enough. Don't be surprised when people start to believe it. So again, this is the fault of the media. The media caused this, and it's going to keep going as long as the media is going to treat Trump unfairly when they report on him. So I mean, and the bias is clear. I mean, anybody who watched the Kamala Harris Trump debate, I mean, could it get any more clear than the fact that they fact checked Trump 7 times and never said anything about Kamala Harris? I mean, a lie's a lie. It doesn't matter how big or how small. And Kamala lied about a lot during the debates. So, yeah, this is pretty crazy. I mean, this guy's is in custody, so I mean, at least they'll be able to interrogate this dude. But I mean, is he going to end up like Epstein too? I don't know. I mean, again,
It's weird.
Is he going to be Lee Harvey Oswald? This guy?
Yeah, it's weird that the last couple of shooters have actually been arrested. Most of the ones that go after presidents and stuff or school shooters
Didn't the
or
other
whatever.
kid get killed?
I don't think so. Did he?
I'm pretty sure he did. They shot him. Remember?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
FBI
I'm thinking of the school shooter. I'm thinking
Yeah,
of
you're
the
thinking of the
last
school shooter that
Mhm.
just surrendered. Yeah, this guy, yeah, they actually got a hold of him. So I don't know, but yeah, so Federalist Papers posted this little tweet this morning, and it's pretty funny. So yeah, I figured I'd send this to the group. Yeah, this is actually not what we were intended. We actually had our title planned out. We were ready to roll. I mean, you guys can see what the thumbnail is. We were going to do a movie review of Am I Racist? So that's what we want to get to, but we just wanted to make sure that we weren't out of the cultural zeitgeist out of this. Like we weren't tracking that Trump was attempted assassinated again.
Needed to talk about this since it's fresh in everyone's mind and it just happened. And there's still not a lot of information. All you need to know is that this guy was a construction worker. He owned a construction company, construction company. Says he's originally from North Carolina.
Big
lives in
pro-Ukraine guy.
Yeah, big Ukraine guy. But he lives in Hawaii. Said he's had a bunch of he has like over 100 criminal like accusations or records against him. I think
So
back
he's
in
not
North Carolina.
mentally well,
Yeah,
clearly.
and he yeah, he's just not well. He's tried to start a Chinese, sorry, what's it called, Hong Kong or Taiwan defense force, like being like part of like the Foreign Legion to go defend Taiwan from China. Same thing with the Ukrainian
He's a
issue with
very
the Russia.
pro-war kind of guy.
Yes, he is. And the last thing that it said is that he wrote a book, and that in the book he criticized Donald Trump, calling him as bad as like Stalin and what's the guy that runs Venezuela right now, saying that his January 6th insurrection was the worst thing that ever happened to America.
Wow.
So he's one of those types right now.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with, folks. Another crazy radical. And again, you got to take everything that's coming out with a grain of salt. I mean, we'll probably know more by the end of the week. So Friday will probably be a better day. Maybe Thursday or Friday will be a better time to when everything will be calmed down and we'll actually know stuff. Because right now you're just getting a flutter of information. It's like when the last shooting that happened at that school. Like they pulled the information pulled up on the Cody kid was pulled up some poor kid from Coweta, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
For God's sake. So yeah. Take this very carefully. Obviously, this guy is in custody, so they will be able to interrogate this dude and figure out his actual motives and whatnot. But we'll see. Either way, let's push on to what we actually wanted to do today, and we're going to talk about the movie review. Am I Racist? Chad and I went to the theater on Saturday and watched this new Daily Wire Matt Walsh movie. The last one he did, What Is a Woman, was really good. I enjoyed it a lot, but this one was great. Like, I mean, I was laughing. I mean, I tried not to laugh obnoxiously in the theater, but I mean, just the concepts. I mean, what we're going up against. Like, if you want to understand what the culture war looks like, this movie exposes the ridiculousness of the race hustle and the race grift going on in the country right now. So, I'll just let Chad play the trailer, and you guys can. I recommend going to the movie. I know they're showing it here in Owasso. Chad and I went to the Warren Theater in Broken Arrow, or the Regal, I guess is what it's called now. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I recommend going to see it. But we'll watch the trailer, and we'll give you our opinions on the other side.
Let's be clear, what's happening in this country, it's Nazism. Republicans are Nazis. You cannot separate yourselves from the bad white people.
Growing up in the 90s, I never thought much about race. Sure, you noticed, but never really seemed to matter that much, at least not to me.
Being a white, straight, cisgender man is the top of the pile.
I'm on the top of the pile. That's me. Am I racist?
I would really appreciate it if you left.
I'm trying to learn. I'm on this journey.
Can you please leave?
If I'm going to sort this out, I need to go deeper undercover. If I want to be an ally, I need to look like one.
What is racism?
Martin Luther King said not to judge people by the...
Martin Luther King said a lot of stuff.
Is America inherently racist?
What the hell is that?
The word inherent is challenging there. America is racist to its bones. All of the...
So inherently.
Yeah.
The entire system has to burn. And I'm not going to even use save this country. This country is not worth saving. This country is a piece of shit.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
They gon' say I'm racist.
Joining us now is Matt, certified DEI expert.
Here's my certification. Where are you guys on your anti-racist journeys? So I'll look around the room and point to who we believe is the most racist person in the room. We want to rename the George Washington Monument to the George Floyd Monument. Would you mind signing it? You will? What do you think about this issue of heteronormativity and how it intersects with the broader structures of racism in society?
They gon' say I'm racist.
What's up with white people? What are you doing to decenter your whiteness?
Who's making it the center? Why are they doing that?
And what you're doing is you're stretching out of your whiteness. This is more for you and less for you. White.
Folks.
White.
Trash.
White supremacy.
White woman.
White boy.
White.
Entitlement.
White.
Centering.
White.
Silence.
Is there a black person around here?
So there's a black person right here. Does he not exist?
They gon' say I'm racist, but they call everybody racist.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. And what's your name?
I'm Matt.
Matt. Hi, Matt.
Nice to meet you.
I just had to ask who you are because you have to be careful.
Never be too careful.
They gon' say you racist, but they call everybody racist.
Okay, so that was the trailer, and like I said, I mean, if you could pick up exactly what you're in for whenever you watch the trailer. I mean, it's a great summary, and I don't know. I mean, the whole thing was just fantastic. It exposes a lot of hypocrisy and ridiculousness in this race grifting movement and culture that's kind of swept up and is plaguing our society right now. And there's no winning. There's no winning in this race grift culture that is, because you can either you can do one thing, you can acknowledge it, and then you have. But if you try to adapt to the culture, or they'll just accuse you of cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
And again, I don't even know. I mean, like, he did that whole. I mean, there are the experts. Like, he interviewed that lady that goes, "You can't be too careful." She is the lady that wrote the book. That literally wrote the book on
white fragility.
White fragility. It's her book. It's Robin DiAngelo.
Robin DiAngelo.
And she wrote White Fragility, and he did like a little play thing where he goes, "I'm a black person, and you smiled at me, and it made me feel uncomfortable." So, and he was like, so he addresses her the next day, going, "I think that you made me feel uncomfortable, and now today she didn't smile at me, and it made me feel more uncomfortable that you didn't smile at me. So we just need to take separate hallways from here on out." So basically, like, she's like, "Okay, perfect. We'll just segregate then," and it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
There is no winning. It's summed up in this little clip that I have pulled up right here, which I'll play it in a second. But there's no winning. It's if we completely ignore racism or ignore race, racist.
Yes.
But if you try to integrate and like become more like that race, cultural appropriation. There's no winning. You can't win. And that's what he goes around proving in this documentary that he's done.
Yeah. It is all a fake. It's all nonsense. And I mean, it even gets to the point where at the end, he's hosting a seminar where he gets people off of, what do you call it?
Craigslist
to come in and do his DEI course.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has a 9-step program, and step 9 is literally whipping themselves. Like, he hands out like old school whips to beat themselves with, and people take them. Like, I mean, like, that was the point where it's just like he's like that, where he doesn't actually force people to whip themselves, but like he takes them back. He goes, this whole thing is ridiculous. That's where his coming around was like, the fact that people are accepting these whips to flog themselves with for their whiteness is where he drew the line. Where it's like, this is nuts. Like, but again, this is what I refer to as the God gap.
Mm-hmm.
People who don't have God in their life and don't have Jesus in their life, like the human soul craves some form of, I don't want to say self-flagellation, but it craves redemption, and we all, again, this whole race grift culture, it's following the whole we are responsible for the sins of our fathers thing. It's the original sin argument. It's like, we are all responsible for our father's sins, so you're going to whip yourself for the things that your ancestors that you never met did.
Yep. I mean, that's what it is. It is basically the new religion.
Yes, it's a call. I mean, again, people who are willing to literally whip themselves on behalf of something that they didn't do, it's insane. So that is the God gap. These people don't need a cult ideology to fill in. They need to go to church. They need Jesus. But they don't, our culture is so anti-Christian, so anti-religion that we have ridiculed the idea of Christianity into being this ridiculous thing that they're like, well, why would you do that? That's ridiculous. When we can actually we can affect real change by whipping ourselves in reality, according to these DEI initiatives.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely insane. But yeah, no. So we'll watch this clip of the first interview, and like, this is, again, this right here is the epitome of what we've been talking about for a long time on this channel and on the show. What I say Mac Malice is correct on. There is no altar white women or liberal white women are not willing to sacrifice their children on. And this woman right here is the epitome of that. So we'll play this clip and we'll catch you on the tail end of it.
My daughter's 4 years old. I am an anti-racist educator, quote unquote. She's still watching Disney movies, and she is choosing a white princess over princesses of color.
Have you talked to her about that?
All the time.
My 3-year-old daughter is her favorite princess is Moana.
Love it.
It's a good sign.
Yeah.
But then I also thought, there's a little bit of cultural appropriation here. She wants to be Moana for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we navigate that? Do I go and buy the Pacific Islander native attire for my white 3-year-old?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
But I guess what we might call the Moana problem here is what, on one hand, there's cultural appropriation. On the other hand, there's gravitating towards white characters.
Right.
So it's almost like no matter which way, you go, you
Right.
end up back in racism.
We think every space belongs to us because we live in a white supremacist society.
Is America an inherently racist country?
I think the word inherent is challenging there. If we say
Fundamentally.
fundamentally, yes, America is racist to its bones. All of the
So inherently.
yeah.
They gonna say you racist.
She's an idiot. She's an idiot. These people are idiots that are telling you the dumb it's the patients have taken over the asylum. That's literally what's happened here.
Absolutely. I mean, did you pick up anything coherent in that conversation? I mean, nobody can even say that they deceptively edited that. I mean, that woman had nothing of substance to actually say about race. So, your daughter's favorite character is Moana. Well, we can't let her dress up like Moana, but we also don't want her idolizing and dressing up like any of the white Disney princesses. So, I guess we just do away with Halloween. What are we talking about here? I mean, again, that woman has racial conversations with her daughter. And she's like, what, 4 is what she said her daughter, how old her daughter was?
Yeah, like 4 years old.
What are you doing talking to your daughter at 4 years old about race? I mean, I remember seeing a picture of a black kid and a white kid sitting together, and they said they wanted, and like the picture, it was innocent. It was the perfect encapsulation of what childhood is. The white kid got a buzzed haircut because he wanted to look like his friend, and his friend was the little black kid who had a buzzed head.
Mm-hmm.
So they thought they looked alike because they both had shaved heads. Like, that's childhood. That's what 4 and 5-year-olds do. But no, they want it. It's like this crazy woman wants to inject racial bias into her daughter. It's like going, why do you like the white princesses? Why don't you like the other princesses? It's like, I don't know. I just like this movie.
Yeah.
This one appeals to me more than the other one does. Why would you be like, sweetie, you really need to watch the movies with the princesses of color? Why would you do that? I mean, all of Disney's movies, the original Disney films, are all classics anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you deny your daughter classic Disney?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, like, these people are just so crazy. You wonder why liberal children, like, we saw that one study that we talked about in one of our previous episodes that shows that kids that grow up in conservative households are more mentally stable.
Mm-hmm.
This is why.
Yeah.
That is exactly why. Right
Just
there.
Dropping race concepts on kids at such a young age. It's like, sweetie, I need you to be racially aware. And you're like, what's race mean, Mom? Well, let me tell you, sweetie.
Mm-hmm. So a concept that they're clearly not old enough to really grasp or fully
Yeah.
understand.
I mean, shoot. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I mean, and you could read a story 100 times and pick something different and get something different out of it every time.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, it's just parents shoving politics down their kids' throat way too soon.
Yeah.
Way too soon.
But getting back to the movie review itself, it is a good movie, but if you're paying attention, it's like with any of these political, like, topic movies that you've seen. If you're paying attention to the news on a regular basis, you kind of already know what's going on, what it's about.
Yeah.
If you're in that, like, mainstream, but it's a hilarious movie because that's what happens in that little interview right there is exactly what he does at every single one of these little interviews that he goes and meets with these DEI expert people.
Yeah, and what's absolutely amazing and hysterical is that how much these people charge to do interviews. I mean, he paid that Robin DiAngelo woman $15,000, and then he tricked her into paying his PA, his assistant, who was a black guy, reparations.
Yeah.
Gave him $30 for reparations. How nice of her was that? And it's just nuts. Like, the entire thing. Like, just all these people. Like, all these race grifters. Like, there was a college student that flipped out at a white kid for having a Blue Lives Matter sticker on his this was a big
Laptop.
scandal back in like 4 years ago. She was at Arizona, and she walked in and tried to kick this guy out of a library or something, or some type of communal study area, because he had a Police Lives Matter on his sticker. Like, she threw a big scene, and like she was just being obnoxious. And now she is she is what Robin DiAngelo is now. She is a race speaker. Like, she speaks about race, and she got $1,500, if she got $1,500, so $1,500 to do the movie, Robin DiAngelo got $15,000. And then what about those? And then they had these ladies who host these
the dinner party ladies that you saw.
Yes,
in
the
there.
dinner party ladies who go, this country's racist to its bone. Like, they literally host parties or dinner parties, and they just
for
ridicule
liberal white women. Yeah,
they
for liberal
ridicule
white women.
the liberal white women around the table, and they just go, "You're a racist. You're a bad person, and if you don't agree with us, you need to leave the table." I mean, women pay. I mean, again, this is the God gap. This is the God shaped hole in a lot of these people's hearts. Yep. They don't understand that they feel the need to do something, and they don't know what to do, and they just go, well, if we just pay these ladies money, we can be absolved of our sins, but we can also be a part of some solution. And like I say, again, these people want to flog themselves. It's like what the original Christianity was back in the day. It was like the Catholic Church was like, stop martyring yourselves. Like, the Christian church was like, was not going to survive because all the Christians who they were throwing themselves in the lion's den in Rome, being like, yeah, slay me, I'm going to be a martyr for Christ. And like the Catholic Church was like, please stop.
Yeah,
you have to survive in order for this religion to grow and take off.
Which is, I think, why one of the big reasons why they had to put that suicide thing on there, that you're damned to hell for all eternity if you commit suicide.
Yeah,
because people were just martyring themselves left and right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, early Christians were just absolutely running to throw themselves at martyrdom because they thought that was the closest way to be to Christ. So it's interesting, and that right there. These women at these dinner parties, these people who are willing to whip themselves at the end of the movie, it goes to show you how deep of a religious connection people want to have. And like I said, since we have ridiculed religion out of our society, particularly Christianity, they're going to turn to these secular religions, which is DEI, DEI means day. What is day? Day is deity. Day is God. Mm-hmm. That's why this whole thing, it's blasphemous, DEI.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Well, not to mention that they even say in that little dinner party thing, there's nothing that they can do to even save America. So then what's the point of even doing any of that
they're
stuff?
not even offering you solutions or salvation. They're just telling you you're damned and you're never going to be good enough. You're always going to be a racist.
But thank you for paying us this money to let us come in here and berate you. Essentially what they were doing at this dinner party was no different than, I forget what those restaurants are called, where you go to those restaurants where the waiter insults you and like makes you wear like hats that have stupid names on them and stuff. Like, that's basically what they need. They don't need to go to
don't pay.
That's like paying ungodly amounts of money.
Don't pay these women to insult you at a dinner table $30,000 to have dinner with them. Go to one of those insult joke bars where it's not actually serious and they don't actually take the ideology seriously. It's just, they're going to be like, you mind if I finish talking before you interrupt me with your order? I haven't even read you the menu yet, Like, no, don't. But again, that's why I say the God gap is so important. It's so real, and it's the religious hole in people's hearts is what's driving all of this. It's the godlessness that is so pervasive in our society that is allowing these DEI programs, this race grifting stuff to flourish. Because again, forgive your debtors. Forgive those who trespassed against you. Mm-hmm. Like what is this? It's like the race. The whole racial thing in America is
don't forgive people.
Yeah, don't forgive them. No, we got to hold them accountable forever, and you are never forgiven. It's like, let go, forgive and forget, move on. You are. I would say Christ is you should be the master of your destiny, but you are the master of your destiny. Mm-hmm. You can choose whether or not to follow Christ. You can choose whether or not to do the right thing, the wrong thing, and these people are choosing to do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
By believing, or even, I don't even think they believe it. I think they're just perpetuating this pervasive ideology because they make so much money. It's like Black Lives Matter. The people who were in charge stole millions and billions of dollars and bought mansions to live in. How's the rest of the black community doing? I know the BLM leaders are doing great. How are the communities that they claim to help doing? Are they any better?
Wouldn't say so. And that's even one. I remember one of the families that had like one of their kids like shot in a car being pulled over. I wish I could remember the name, but I remember this one vividly because he actually didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. He said he was armed and like it was a rookie cop, like brand new on the force, and he shot somebody. And like the Black Lives Matter put their stuff up, and like the guy's girlfriend did too. Like put up a GoFundMe, and the Black Lives Matter did, and Black Lives Matter and his girlfriend were taking all this money from the actual family.
Oh my gosh.
And that they didn't pay them that. Then the family even put out statements like, "Do not support anybody besides this." You know, they put out the actual like their, you know, whatever it was. I guess it
Their
was probably
GoFundMe
Patreon
or
or
something,
GoFundMe. But yeah, just like they will take money. Like these grifters will go out there and take the money, saying that they're BLM, and they don't give it back. They don't give it back to the community or the family to help. They just give it to themselves and give it to the organization. We're making a difference.
Yeah, as we profit and steal the money and resources away from the community that's actually affected. Again, that's what these people are. They are grifters. They are taking massive paychecks to, I mean, literally, Robin DiAngelo got paid $15,000 for a 2-hour interview.
Yep. And then, I mean, her book came out during peak COVID is also what caused its like uproar. But it was like her book was a bestseller on the New York bestseller list for like 3 years.
And she's the one that runs the workshops at Google and Amazon for their DEI programs. She runs them.
Yeah,
She
said,
gets like that fee. Imagine getting paid that fee except every single day at Amazon. And
I remember that now. She said she had worked with, and she even said, "Don't tell anybody, but I've worked with Netflix, Google, Amazon." I mean, she was going through a list of huge companies that make billions and billions of dollars.
So imagine,
and she didn't say how much she got paid. I guarantee you, it was a crap ton.
She said I usually take anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000, and she said since this is just a one-time interview, I'll just charge you $15,000, meet you in the middle. But I mean, even if you were making $15,000 per interview or per web thing you put on, you put one every single day for Netflix and one every single day for you. You're a millionaire that year. You're on track to be an upper echelon millionaire.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, it's a grift and it's sad. And like I said, these people can't really explain what. I mean, again, if they don't offer you any solution to the problem, then it's a grift.
Yeah.
And that's why this whole race culture thing is a grift, because there is no actual solution. Like, what can I do to make everything go away and we start from zero? Well, we can't because there's just too much money to be made. All right, well, then it's a grift.
Yep. Meaning you did this to just solely profit because there's no solution. So the only solution is to constantly call me back for more DEI services.
Yes, exactly. I mean, this is the sad, pervasive truth and reality of what DEI is and what all these grifters. I mean, these people make thousands upon thousands of dollars to put on these. I mean, watch the web shop that or the workshop that Matt Christensen puts on at the very end of the film, where they end up
Matt Walsh.
Where they start, where he hands out the whips. Like, it is ridiculous, and I'm sure that's exactly follows the line exactly of what these actual workshops look like. I'm sure they actually watched and paid for a workshop and just kind of followed the tenets of that workshop. That's a 9-step program. But yeah, I definitely recommend giving this movie a watch. Go support it in theaters, and if you can subscribe to the Daily Wire and watch it on there, I'm sure
at some
point. But yeah, no, I mean, it was good. It's worth a watch, especially if you're not aware of the culture wars like me and Chad are. Like, I mean, obviously we have our show, we're keeping you informed on the culture wars, but if you don't really understand what DEI is, go watch this documentary, because it will help you get a grip on what exactly it is we're dealing with here.
Yeah. And that there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of businesses that will force mandatory DEI study sessions or workforces to go to these things.
Yeah.
And it's even at the colleges and stuff too now, right?
I mean, we had to do anti-rape seminar courses to sign up for classes at TU. It's like, just so you know, sexual assaults, it's every 1 in every 4 women on college campus, which is ridiculous, because there's definitely not that happening on college campus, because especially like at TU. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, I'm pretty sure we'd be hearing about this if 1 in 4 of these girls were getting attacked.
It would be, you'd hear about it on a daily basis if that was the case.
I mean, that means literally, like, our house had like 50 dudes in it. Like, a quarter of the guys in our house would have all been convicted,
sex offenders.
Sex offenders at that point. That's crazy. It's nonsense. So anyway, that's about all we've got for you today. Definitely go check out the Am I Racist by the Daily Wire and Matt Walsh. It's a good film. It's a fun watch, and I was cutting up laughing quite a bit during it. So you'll definitely enjoy it. if it's I know documentaries aren't a lot of people's cup of tea, but it's really more of a comedy movie than it is a documentary. So it's good.
Said we would call it a mockumentary, but everything in it's true.
It's factually true. Yes, everything in it's factually true. It's a comedic documentary.
It's like a sad reality. Like, this is not supposed to be funny, but it is because these people are so
dumb,
stupid.
so ridiculous. But yeah, that's all we got for you. I hope that y'all have a wonderful day. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. We are signing off. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.